with Aizik from Team Complexity here, also known as Fly and Simba in the past, and probably currently. What nickname do you go by the way?
I'm Fly.
You're Fly, okay. Every time. So, how did Complexity come about? Like, how did you guys sort of come together? After your time with Secret, you sort of disappeared for a while, and you sort of sprung up with Complexity. So, how would you go into any details about the transition?
After Secret, I tried to start my own team, Meepond, and we pretty much lasted for like a month. We disbanded. I kind of chilled for a while, and then Swindle Melons approached me, and he basically wanted me to join his team. And it's been like that for like a month or two, where I was like, I'm gonna maybe try out with you guys, maybe not. I was trying to look at what other offers I'm getting, and eventually I decided to go with him. And at the time it was him, Z-Freak and Ziz who were on the team, plus I don't even remember who was the fifth back then. I decided to join, and basically pretty much a week after I officially joined them, then we got Moonmender to join the team, and that's pretty much how it came to be.
You've certainly been one of the best stories this year because of the way you've progressed. You've got a lot of attention. You've secured a position in the upper brackets. You and CDEC are probably the only teams that have actually shown that sort of a curve in terms of performing so well without any big names, so to speak. How do you think that came to be?
Well, I think it's basically a lot of hard work from us that made us what we are right now. We're in a boot camp for about 3 months before this event, and we boot camp for the qualifiers originally. As soon as we qualified, we were still in the house and we were still training a lot. And we scrimmed against a lot of top tier teams, and the more we play top tier teams, our level advances. And I think slowly as we get into the tournament, we just start playing better and better. Each day we improve on a little thing, and we go back to our hotels after matches and discuss and watch replays and just get better. And I think we just learn really quick. And of course, having someone who is more experienced, being myself, on being top tier teams, I can also help the team a lot with my experience. And I feel like CDEC's always been a really great team. In the qualifiers they came second, they could have easily came first. And they show what they're made of. They're just a really good team.
So you trained for 3 months. Was that based out of America?
Yeah, we were in Maryland. In America.
Okay, so your scrim partners would probably have been American teams like EG, basically EG, and maybe European teams if you were on East Coast.
Yeah, we were on the East Coast, so we did play some European teams, but of course we would always try to get the best teams to scrim against us. But sometimes we couldn't, so we would scrim lower tier teams. But yeah, every time we could scrim a team like EG, we would want to do that, or whoever, like Cloud9, etc. So yeah.
So I remember last year, with the whole situation with Fanatic was quite unfortunate. All of you seemed really distressed and distracted from doing anything. So after that, Secret came to be. That did not work out. Do you have any clue, or would you want to share any details as to what exactly went wrong with that experiment?
I don't think anything really went wrong in Secret. At the end of the day, it came to the fact that they just thought they could do better with different players. And that's pretty much what happened. I was replaced originally with Misery, and then Misery and No-Tail got replaced with Zion Arteezy. That's just how it was. They thought they could do better with different players, and I respect that. And I'm glad that I had time to be on the team, because I learned a lot about Dota, about a lot of different things. So I'm totally okay with what happened, and I'm glad to be on the team I am right now.
While you were in Secret, what were your thoughts on the structure and the organization, or the lack of organization, actually? What did you think of it? Essentially, it was an experiment of sorts. What do you think the pros and cons of that experiment are, and how do you see panning it out in the long term?
I think to be able to go without an organization behind you, you have to be like really the top of the top. You have to be a really good team, very popular, and have people who would be willing to sponsor you, like just straight up sponsor you without an organization behind you. And I think the direction it was going when I was in team was a good direction. And I think like probably after this, like even now they're probably very well settled. I don't actually know what's going on because I'm not on the team anymore. But I feel like it's a direction that could be very good in the future. But teams would have to be very popular to be able to succeed. Like a second-tier team will not be able to just hold their own. It's not going to happen, I think.
And do you miss playing with No Tail?
Yeah, of course. I played with him for like 5 years or something. He's still an amazing player and we're still good friends. So I would love to play with him again in the future sometime if we're both still playing.
And do you miss any of the other players from Team Fnatic? I mean, Fanatic was one of those teams that had lasted for the longest time ever, for at least in Dota terms, because you see teams disbanding and forming like literally every 3 months after every major tournament. Like Fnatic was one of those teams that had such a staunch, loyal following of fans that actually loved how you guys came across as a band of friends, a band of brothers. Do you think there's any chance that that could come back into existence at some point?
Oh, well, us as 5 players, it's probably not going to happen. But I mean, the time in Fnatic was a great time, and they're all like friends. Of course, I talk more to No Tail, and then probably Hani would be my second one I talk to the most. But they're still good guys. They all are on different teams, and Hani is now doing other things. But it's not going to become a team again. So rip the dream.
So coming back to complexity, you guys picked up techies and actually really surprised everyone. Is it one of those things that you sort of saw Secret execute really well and you thought you could do it as well, or did you try to put your twist on it?
I think everyone slowly started to realize how strong techies is, all the good teams. And that's pretty much how we looked at it. Like, we just realized how strong the hero is, and I think all the good teams are doing it as well. I don't think we copied anything from Secret. Of course, everyone saw the Tusk deck and was like, whoa, this is incredible. So we tried it, and we kind of put our own little twist on it. The way we play it is a little different from theirs. They roam a lot. We kind of put emphasis on techies kind of doing his own thing on lane. Like, it's a little different. The hero is just really strong, and we're going to see more of him for sure. And I don't think it was a surprise to at least the Western teams that are going to be techies. I don't know how the Chinese scene is, but the Western teams were definitely aware that techies is going to show up.
And in terms of the patch, some huge changes came about, massive buffs to supports, lots of items that came in that actually help supports a lot. The Glimmer Cape is like a go-to item for any support these days. Do you think that there is some part of the meta or that is yet to be unraveled, or that someone is yet to sort of stumble upon and make it work in a competitive scene, or do you think that this patch has been totally figured out?
I think there's always new stuff to figure out. I don't think that's one of the great things about Dota, is that there's always something new waiting to be found, and we might see that on the main stage. Something new is going to come up. I'm not sure. I won't reveal anything that we have either. But there's always something waiting. There's always like some hero that people might have forgotten, or a way, or a playstyle, or anything. There's always something waiting. That's the great thing about Dota. So I'm not sure if we'll see something too crazy in this main event or not, but I'm sure there are things to be found.
Is that a confirmation that there is a secret strat in the works? I've got, like, you don't have to reveal, of course, anything, but Fnatic seem to be confident that they're going to bring something special out, and so is Virtus Pro. Is it going to be something that we've really not seen any of the major tournaments so far, or is it going to be something incremental?
Well, I obviously can't say answer to any of these, because that's the point of having a secret strat. So it's secret. So we'll just say we also.
But you do acknowledge the existence of a secret strat.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, I mean that's good enough.
Yeah.
That actually gets everyone really excited. I mean, especially me. And so complexity right now in the shape and form that you're in. 3 months of boot camp training. So you were in America, right?
Yeah.
And how was it being away from Israel? Do you miss it, or have you got used to that lifestyle of just traveling with a backpack all the way?
I do miss my home. You feel it more after like being there for 2 months or so. Like it starts to really, because I'm a very home person and my family all supports me, and I'm like in really good relation with my family. So I definitely miss home, but I know I came there with one objective in mind, which was TI, and so far we've been doing good at progressing towards it. So I'm very glad for the choice I made, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Was there a point during the whole boot camp session, or maybe during one of your victories that you had in the previous games, where you thought that we might make it, we just might make it?
I felt very confident as soon as we started playing the qualifiers. Like our scrims have been going pretty good, and the first day of qualifiers we came out and we like really destroyed our opponents. And since then I felt confident about taking the whole thing. And now when we get to the actual TI, every day I feel like we're just improving a lot. We're learning so much in such a little time span, which is really incredible to be able to stand up to these teams who have been like veterans for years, like teams made like IG, who who have, you know, gods of Dota. So it's you know, a very good motivating thing.
So you would say you're peaking at the right time?
Yeah, we're definitely getting to our peak, like slowly. I don't think we peaked yet, but we're definitely getting there, and hopefully it'll be just in time for the main event.
That's good to know, Fly. It's great. It's been great talking to you. And like last year, I mean, it's always a great conversation to have with someone like you. Thank you for joining us. Any last shout-outs that you want to give to Complexity or your sponsors?
Yeah, I have shout out to my sponsors: Sound Blaster, G2A, Twitch, Power Color, Newegg Creative, AData, DX Razor, and Powerware.
All right. Thanks a lot, Fly.